All right. We have less number of people today. I'm going to give you a few questions to you, and we are going to solve. Okay. Once your friends will join the session, we'll continue with the topic. Let us start with a few questions. Let us warm up ourselves. Let us solve a few questions. I'm sharing my screen with you. I have to do it in this. Yes, Monica, please inform your classmates to join the session soon. Okay, I am starting. Oh, okay. Let me reconnect to the network. Okay, till then, I am sharing my screen. Please look at the questions, or I'll paste the first question in Notepad. I am rejoining from a different network. Till then, please solve the first question that I am. I'm also pasting a second question in the chat box. Mm, let us create a function. Create a function difference in this. starting from
Hello, ma'am.
all right. Am I clearly audible now? Yes. Am I clearly audible now? All right. So, okay. So let us start with the first question. Okay. I have shared two questions with you in the chat box. and in the screen that I am sharing. Are you done with these two questions, or you are trying it right now? You are trying these questions, right? Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, Janvi. See. Uh, okay. Uh, what is the question? 1002. Oh, sorry. Yes, it should be 2000. See, it should not be 200, it should be 2000. My bad. The answer, see, the question, I am not explaining you the example, I am giving you the explanation of the question itself. The question is stating that you need to print all the numbers in that range which have only even digits. So if you consider 1000 as the example, no, 1000, say for example, the starting range is from 1000 to 5000. Okay, I'm just giving you a random range. And the number except 1000 is not having all the even digits, so it doesn't stand a chance. And any number till 19999, whatever is the number, will not have all the even digits. Starting from 2000, you can expect your first even digit, right? Then what? Then which number is having all the even digits? This is not having all the even digits. What about this number? Yes, it is having all the even digits. So you are printing these kind of numbers. Are you getting the second question now? Hello? Okay, all right. What about the other class? Are you getting both the questions? Yes or no? Yes, TC1. Okay, all right, all right. Oh, yes. Please share your screen, Janvi. Yeah, I can see your screen. Okay, so see, the question is every digit of that number should be even. Getting it? If you are printing 50, no, 5 is not even, 0 is even. Getting? This is very easy. I want you to figure out every single digit inside that number should be even. Got the question?
Just 40 to 60, then 42, 44, 46 are even, right?
Correct. Then what about 50? 50, you think that 50 is even. Whole number is even. But 5 and 0, break it down. 5 is not even, no. Getting it?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And first question,
Yes. First question, you are done with the first question. It is very easy, right? Yeah. Okay, above is the first question. Yes. You are inputting a string from user. You are creating a set. You are adding element onto the set. Yes. And if it is no, even, yeah, of course. Yes. That is very easy. Good. Yeah. Yes. Yes. You can stop sharing. Somebody is typing something. Yes, if you have any questions, you just unmute and talk to me. You can use even recursion here. In the second question, you can use recursion to check whether the number inside that number is even or not. It will be easy if you try using recursion. Simply call that function recursively, and if it is not even, return false. That's all. Yes, yes, yes. Please share your screen. Okay, so you are for element and for start till end minus 1. Okay, so this is the function for item in element. For item in element, yes, yes, yes. See, oh, it is not possible because your item, see, the element that you are accessing here, no, it is just one integer in the range from start to end, right? If your starting number is 10, no, then element is having value 10. Then you cannot break down 10 in a way that you are writing for item in element. Getting it?
So, ma'am, how can you
Yes.
like you say that break down the number?
Yeah. Yes. So now imagine if I am giving you a question, a lower level question, in the sense I'm not giving you range wala question. I'm giving you a simple question that if this is a given number, you need to check whether all the digits are even or not. What will you do? You will break down the number, right? This can be done in multiple ways. I'm giving you the first way. The first way is you break down every number by using modulus 10 and extract every digit, and wherever you it is finding not even, no, just break off the loop and return that it is false, or you can bring it is not even, something like that. You can manage. Another thing is converting it into string and going till the length of the string and looking at each and every character in that number. That can be done. Or another way is converting this into a list, converting a number into a list. And if you're converting the number into a list, then you can apply the logic of for item in element. Getting the logics now? What you need to do?
Yes,
Yes, yes. Something like this you can do. Yes, PC1 students, are you trying the question? Anybody done with the first question? Okay, okay. If you are not able to do, directly let me know. Okay, if you are facing any challenges, any errors, do let me know. I will check and help you out. I am actually having two classes today, Janvi. Yours and another one also. I am managing, I am having two sessions at the same time. I know you are TC2, Janvi. Yes, yes. Done. Split, split. You have to pass here something. What you will pass? The spaces you want to split. Yeah. Yes. This way you want to follow every single layer. Oh, every single. Oh, good. Jay, please share your screen. Yes. You are okay. Creating. Oh, you know lambda. Oh, good, good. Oh, append. Okay. Appending. If it is not there. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Good, good. Yes, yes, yes. Or you can simply convert it into set. Even set is possible. Any which way. Yes, your program is correct. Oh, Vivek, done with both. Good, good. Please share your screen. Okay, first one you are entering a string, you're splitting it up, and oh, you are finding s in that. Oh, okay. If it is now, yeah, yes, yes, yes. Then only you are appending it. Oh, yes. If there is no such occurrence in the string, then only you are appending it. Yeah, a good way. Good, good. Yes, yes. Then okay. So here you are running from start to end, all right. N equals to I. You are initializing your I. What is the initial value of I? I is starting from start and it is n is equals to that only. Till your number is greater than 0 because at the end it will be 0, right? When you are dividing it by 10 all the time, it is going to be 0 at some point. Oh, correct. Your flag is setting to false. If flag is true, then only you are operating. Otherwise, are you resetting the flag anywhere? Yes, you are resetting the flag. Oh, correct. Oh, good, good, good. Done, done, done. Very nice. Yes, 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 yes. Very good. Done, done, done. Yes, yes. TC1, anybody done with any of these questions? I want to start a very small topic today. Actually, not a small topic, a big topic, but I want to introduce something today. So, if you are ready, uh, yes, from TC1, I want to see any of the solution, either one or two. Then I'll begin with the next topic. Anybody done with question number one or two? Any of these two questions? Okay, no worries. Let me share my screen. your entire screen. PC2, yes. Okay, I wanted to begin with a very small thing today, okay? Which is going to advance, and we can see more problems on this topic. Okay, I wanted to begin with inheritance. So, are you aware of the term inheritance? Have you used it before any time in other languages? If you know classes now, then we can move ahead with inheritance. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, good. Now you can have surplus surplus relationship. Can you tell me what are all the advantages of using it? Why, what is the point of using it? Can you tell me? Why do we use inheritance? Why shall we use it? Code reusability. Okay, but you can get with functions also. If you create a function, then the same function you can use it for n number of times. You can call it for n number of times. Then what is the point of using inheritance? Hmm? Yes. Will it be just the function or the whole class will be visible in the subclass? Whenever you are using functions, no, at that time you are only creating one module, and that one function only can be used for multiple number of times. You can simply call it for multiple number of times. That's all you are doing, okay? Whenever you're inheriting a class, in the sense you can access all the property of that class in a child class, not just one function. Even variables, even constructor is also visible in your child class. Everything gets visible in whenever you are applying inheritance relationship between two classes. Okay, that way you are right. You can definitely have code reusability feature over there. Another nature is there. Another important point here is that whenever you are inheriting in a hierarchy, say for example you want your A to be the superclass and B is the subclass, and I have to do it over here. Oh, is my screen shared? I did. Oh, okay, I only did in one class. I was left with another class. Yeah, now both the classes can see my screen. Okay. In the sense, if you have, class A and you are creating class B as a child class, whatever hierarchy you are creating beyond this, no, this it's a transitive property. Transitive in the sense, child class inherits all the properties from parent class. Then all the future subclasses also know of this child class will transitively inherit all the properties of superclass A. In the sense your D, if it is the lowest level of subclass, no, then D can have its own property for sure. But it can also access variables and functions from A, B, and C. So inheritance is actually transitive. So whatever is a subclass, no, how many number of classes you create beyond that, every class can access the superclass property. That is the transitive property of inheritance. That is one thing. So yes, it definitely facilitates code reusability for sure. Now, if you wish to create subclass, superclass relationship here, okay, in JDK, you were using extends keyword to inherit one class into another class, okay? And in C, I think you are using 2:, to establish the relationship between superclass and subclass, all right? In Python, we don't use any of these keywords or any of this operator. How do we create, subclass and superclass? Simply, say for example, I'm creating a parent class. I can make this parent class as the object class. Whenever you are creating classes that you do not wish to use for inheritance, you create the classes very simply like we did in the last session, okay? Without passing object as parameter, without passing any parameters actually in the class. That is the way you create a class which you do not want to inherit. Now, if I want to apply inheritance relationship from this class to any other child class, or if I want to create some child class of this parent class, I am going to use object as in the keyword. What do you mean by object? If you go back to JDK, you will remember that object in JDK was actually the cosmic superclass. In the sense, everything was object in Java, right? It was cosmic superclass. But is Java completely object oriented? No. How can you say Java is 100% object oriented? Even when you create variables like this, you are able to create variables like this, no? With this double, okay, you can create variable without creating objects. Although you can have boxing and unboxing and you can convert them to respective wrapper class, it was possible. But again, you are using primitive data types whenever you are using Java. So Java was actually not a pure object oriented language, first thing. Second thing, whenever we call it as an object oriented language, no, everything is object here. Even variables are object here. And how do you know this in Python that it is object oriented? Because any variable you create here, you can use its property with the dot operator. Okay, we are going to see in libraries also. Any array you create, say for example, whenever you are creating any array in Python, any list, anything you create in Python, you know, it is filled with objects itself. Why? Because it is not a strictly typed language. It is a dynamically typed language in the sense, even in list, you can have varied kind of combinations. You can store string, you can store int, double, anything. Okay, everything is object over here. That is the reason we are mentioning object here in the sense, I am creating a class capable of inheriting, and this class can take, or this class can make subclass of any other class which is of type object. Okay, so any class which is of type object can have the inheritance relationship with my class, and all the classes in Python are by default of type object. Okay, because everything in Python is related to object itself. You create the object, you access the functions of that class. So I'm enabling the inheritance feature in my parent class right now. When I'm using object, it means I'm referring to any kind of variables, any kind of functions which are present in this class. Any other class can access its property if it agrees with the inheritance relationship with my class. So this is how we create the first parent class in Python. And of course, whatever functions you are having, say for example, I'm having the first function over here. The first function is, let us name it as first itself. Okay, I'm creating the first function here. Okay, or I'm creating the parent function here. Okay, I'm creating the parent function here, and whatever you want to print here from parent class. Okay, parent class, and don't forget the self, which we have seen in the last class. Okay, self is mandatory in all the functions that you create inside a class. So now whatever functions this class is having, no, all the functions are going to be visible in your child class. And how do we supply this relationship? We can supply the relationship by mentioning which class do you want it to be parent, in the sense, which class do you want your child class to be the parent of? Well, I currently want my parent class to be the parent of my child class. Okay, supply the name of the class in brackets. When you are supplying the name of the class in brackets, you are enabling the inheritance feature, and henceforth, whatever whatever object of child you are creating, with the same object you can call and access and use and print and do everything with all the members in the sense variable and function of superclass. So I'm simply just for the sake of showing you, I'm creating a child function here. Okay, and we are printing here that I'm coming from the child class. Okay, now if you are creating the object of child, you must be able to access all the properties of parent. Yes, let us try to create the object of child, and I am calling, definitely child class can call its own function. There is no biggie in that. Okay, can it call the parent function? Let us check. Is the inheritance applied over here? Yes, it is applied. Now, are you getting how do we apply inheritance in the first level? I haven't disclosed the multi-level. I haven't disclosed hybrid inheritance, which is actually, it is possible in Python, which was not possible in Java, if you remember. Diamond inheritance, having one child class with multiple parent class, It was a problem in Java, but that is not a problem in Python. We are going to see how we are doing it. But are you clear with the first level of inheritance? Yes, I'm asking to both the classes here. Are you clear with the first level of inheritance? How can we create a parent class? How can we create a child class? How to mention that, okay, this class is belonging to this parent class. I want my parent class as this to be inherited in my child class. Okay. What about TC1? Okay. All right. Now, if we go back to the program, okay, if we go back to the program, and if you remember, whenever you are creating the object, no, where is it? Here, here. Whenever you are creating the object, you are automatically calling the default constructor of that class, right? In the same way, oh yeah, and this also you already know. You know, just like methods can be overridden, even constructors can be overridden. Are you aware of that? Overriding in constructors. Overriding in function is automatically there, but why I'm talking about overriding in the sense you are applying inheritance relationship over here, and whatever is your parent class's constructor, no, and your subclass constructor. Whenever you are creating the subclass constructor, your parent class constructor stands no visibility because it gets overridden by your subclass constructor, right? That is constructor overriding. And is it there over here? Of course it is there. Let us try and create, say for example, I am creating a parameterized constructor here itself, okay? I am creating my first parameterized constructor here itself. Let us mention some parameters. Say for example, self is the default parameter, okay? Let us mention your first name and let us mention last, okay, last name will be there common, okay? Let us mention age of the parent, okay? So I am initializing this variables. First name equals to whatever is in the bracket, no, it is going inside that variable, and self dot age equals to self age. Yes, I am initializing the parameters of this variables by using the parameterized constructor, and it is simply printing. Let us print all the details here. I am printing here name, first name, my bad, it should be self dot first name, and we're also printing here age of the parent is self dot age. So you are having this function here. Now, whenever in the child class, I want to say, for example, I want to create the same parameterized constructor in my child class, okay? But I don't want to initialize first name again, okay? Age will definitely change, okay? I don't want to initialize first name again. Can I reuse that property? Of course you can reuse that property. Say for example, I am giving first name and I am giving age here itself in the child constructor. How can you call the parent class's constructor? By using the class's name. I am using parent dot. What do you want to call? Well, I want to call the parameterized constructor of my superclass. What do you want to pass here? Oh, well, I want to pass self is for sure it has to pass. What else do you want to pass? Well, I want to pass first name here itself, okay? And I want to pass age. This constructor is having 3 parameters. I am passing 3 parameters over here, all right? What else do you think should be passed onto your child's as a child parameter? I want last name to be different. Say for example, I want my child's last name to be different. I want my child's last name to be, say for example, blah blah. Okay, this is my child's last name. So I am calling the parent class's parameterized constructor from here. And whenever you are calling the parameterized constructor, what will happen? The control will pass on to here. It will replace your first name record with this, initialize the first name, replace the age record with this, initialize and replace the value of the age, and the last name is same here. Say for example, the child's last name is blah blah itself. Now, whenever I am creating object of the child, I do have to pass everything. What do I have to pass? Let us print here in the child itself. Let us print here last name is your last name. Now, whenever I want to, even you can print first name here, okay? Because it is child, no, it can access all the properties of parent. You can directly print here first name is self dot first name and self dot age, because it is nothing but the property of a parent class. Your child can easily access all the properties of parent class. Now, whenever I'm creating the object, no, I need to take care about two parameters. First is first name, second is age. Okay, let us pass the first name as Mr. A. I'm passing age as some number, okay? Or you can even wish to pass it as some string. I am passing the string over here. It is calling error because child, oh, I did a mistake. This is capital child, right? Oh, I did some mistake here initializing the constructor. Okay, child is taking no parameters. Okay, so you are creating because it is overriding. Because it is overriding the, but I'm already passing to. Okay, let me check the names first. Is it, yeah, it is first name, all right. It is age, correct. Self, you are passing first name, all right. And you are having your own view for last name. Yeah. So, and init is the deparameterized constructor that you are using here. And you are, okay. Oh, yeah, I did a mistake here. Yes. Oh, it is again showing me, it is not, I already am passing parameters here. Oh, yes, the constructor is incorrectly written. See, it should be having 2 underscores. I have mentioned only 1 underscore. That was the problem. Yeah. Okay, now let us redo the thing. Okay. It is having init takes 1 parameter. I am passing here 2. I am passing here 2. Yeah, what is the problem? I am unable to identify.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
In child class, we only write self and we not pass first name and age then?
In child class?
In it, yes.
Here. Oh, you have to pass the object. Otherwise, how it will get called?
No, not in parent. In child class constructor where we,
okay, here.
Where we defined it. Yes, there.
Anyway, any constructor you are creating, no. You have to pass self without
just write self only, not first name and age. Then,
oh, you want the default constructor? Default one. Then you will not be able to pass. Because you will not be able to pass parameters here, no? If you are using the default constructor for creating the object.
But ma'am, if we are inheriting parent class first name and age, then what should the reason we write first name and age again in the child class?
Okay. Yeah. The reason I am writing here is that I want your child's object to initialize the parent variables. See, the parent first name and age will be common for child, right? Only the first name of the child will change. Or maybe assume that the last name of the child will change. The first name is same. In the sense, what I am intending to do is, I want your same values for child. Whenever you are creating the object of child, I want the same values to pass to your parent also. So that your parent don't need initialization at all. You can simply, whenever you are creating the object of child with parameters, no. Those parameters only will be passed on whenever you are creating the object of child. And parent too. You don't need to explicitly initialize the parent classes variables. With the help of child, I am reaching out to the parent classes constructor. Getting it? That is what I wanted to do.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. It should happen right because I'm using parent here and I'm passing first name, all right. and you are passing age, then it can simply go with that. Self is mandatory actually here in every call that you are placing. Uh,
I'm re-execute above, sir.
this one, oh, I did.
Parent, sir.
Oh, I did it actually. Let me restart. Oh, this. Oh, parent self.
Yes.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. We forgot to run that. Let us try. No, first name is not defined. Where it is not defined, I have to check for that. Okay. Parent, self, first name, and age. I am already giving first name and age here. So it should be defined directly. Is it current classes object self dot age and self dot name? Otherwise, I will have to. Child has no attribute known as. Okay, yeah, okay, I'll check it. I think some problem with variable name or somewhere I forgot to mention self. Otherwise, this will not happen. Okay, I'll check on this in the next class. We'll see this. Yeah, yes, yes, yes,
I
yes.
found it.
Yeah,
Found it.
yeah.
Sir, it's in child class init method you have written first R is missing in first.
Oh, here. Oh, yes, yes. FIRST. Oh, yes, yes. It is telling first name. I already given first name. Some problem I have done in naming or something. Okay,
Now you should remove self dot first name and self dot age.
oh, here you are telling, right? I am passing the object. Then why it is not? Oh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. I was mentioning FIST first name and oh, you already am passing first. No, it is it working fine? But from child class, I am calling the last name as blah blah. Okay. First name I am passing here. From the parent class also. Oh, this I wanted to show you. See. From the parent class, you see, Janvi, you are telling me there is no need. Now you see. With the object of child class itself, no. I am using the same object and I'm initializing the variables of parent class also, which is first name and age. Getting it? What I did with this? Got it? I didn't create the
Yes, ma'am,
object of
yes.
parent class simply by calling the constructor of the parent class. And how do you call it? By using class name dot constructor name, whatever you want to use, and passing those parameters. You are passing the values here, initializing them. So by default, you don't need to create. Who solved it? So thank you so much. Who did that? I forgot who did that. Who gave me this error? Who gave me the solution of the error? Sagar, was it Vivek? Oh, Vivek. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Okay, okay. Good, good. So far it is good. Okay. So far, do you have any questions regarding how do we create a class? How do we create child class? How do we create function inside a inherited class? How do we create super class? How do we create subclass? How do we, create constructors which are parameterized? How do we call the superclass constructor? How do we initialize the variables of this class? Any questions do you have so far? Okay. What about TC1? TC1 students are not responding much. Why? You have to be active in the class. Are you clear with this? What we have done today? I don't know what is going on in your sessions, but I just took a topic and I started this. Yes, TC1 students, are you comfortable with this? Any questions do you have? Or okay, okay, done. Then you are done for today. We'll see more on these kind of questions. Okay, we'll see more on these type of questions in the next class. You are done for today. You can mention your numbers in the chat box and then leave the session. Yes, yes. Angani, you are mentioning your number, right? Yes, if you are having any questions, please do ask. Otherwise, you are done for the session.